Oh, what's up, everyone? My name is OMG WTF LOL FTW BRB. Welcome back to more WWE versus TEW, the weekly series where we take the events and shows of the WWE books, book them in the game, and see just how well the WWE and Vince McMahon do against Total Extreme Wrestling and Adam Ryland, or if Ryland and Co. will be the company that takes down WWE once and for all. I guess it would be Grey Dog Studios or Software or whatever it is, but whatever. We are coming to you with the June 25th edition of Monday Night Raw. Main event of the night is the Intercontinental Championship rematch between Seth Rollins and the new champion Dolph Ziggler. We are back on track, sticking to where we're supposed to be. Valley View Casino Center here tonight. Last week on both 205 Live and SmackDown, because of Mr. James Ellsworth, we weren't where we were supposed to be, but that's okay. Let's just go ahead and run this. I know we're getting Raw up pretty early, though. Aren't you guys surprised? I was able to watch Raw on a Monday and get it up on a Tuesday. Active. 55 C- rating as we get hype for what else? The Intercontinental Championship match that'll take place later on tonight, of course, featuring Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre's featured as well, but he's not rated because, well, there's nothing. He's just there right now, you know? We open up the night with a 62 solid C rating here, as Kurt Angle and Constable Baron Corbin are already in the ring. JoJo forgets to announce Constable Baron Corbin, so he has some fun with her. Angle announces that due to contract reasoning or whatever it really was, I guess contracts not falling through might have been the word he used, the multi-man match. I'm confused real quick, guys, before we jump into this multi-man match that I guess we were supposed to have, I must have missed the announcement last week on Monday Night Raw because I thought it was like a 5-man match to determine who will face Brock at the next, for the next title defense or whatever. But the way they make it seem like in this angle is that it was a multi-man match with Brock Lesnar in it for the Universal Championship, but contracts didn't fall through, I guess, or whatever the word is they used, and we are no longer getting that multi-man match that might have been for the #1 contendership, or it might have been for the Universal Championship. I don't know, to be honest. Roman Reigns comes out. He's none too happy about the announcement. This also leads to Bobby Lashley coming out, who he's none too happy about the announcement either. In fact, he's like, "Wait a minute, why is the match off?" Pretty much. And Roman looks at him and goes, "You must really be new here because you don't get it. Brock does what Brock wants to do, pretty much. He comes when he wants to, he defends when he wants to, yada yada yada." Bobby then goes on to say, well, maybe if Brock had a legitimate challenger in front of him instead of having to look at Roman Reigns every week, maybe he would show up. And things get a little bit tense. Bobby Lashley puts over the fact that Roman can't get the job done and that he's the only guy capable of taking down Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle says that he'll take a one-on-one match between Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules Under Advisement, a.k.a. we're probably getting Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules. This leads to the revival once again. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder coming out, interrupting for the second week in a row, saying supposed top guys getting, these top positions just handed to them while real top guys have to work for their opportunity. And they put over that last week. They weren't expecting them to actually work together, but now they're ready, and they want another shot. Kurt Angle's not too sure about it, but Constable Baron Corbin says, "I am, let's do the match." And rematch from last week in our opening match, as it'll be Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley versus Dawson and Wilder. Can I just say one thing before we move on? It's amazing how a completely fresh new feud for Bobby Lashley is doing wonders for him. That garbage Sami Zayn feud where it focused way too much on his sisters and his past and all that. Who cares? This right here is what we need. We need Bobby Lashley coming in straight up saying, "I'm here to take out you. I'm here to take out Brock Lesnar. I'm here to take out whoever gets in my way because I'm the guy," pretty much. Whereas Roman, he's starting to get a little jealous, maybe a little irritated seeing his spot go up because now they got the guy here. They got Bobby Lashley, the guy who was supposed to be the guy before Roman Reigns and then he left. Roman also made a comment on that about, Bobby being gone for like 10 years or something and main eventing WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley never main evented WrestleMania. Just want to put that out there. Sure, he had a marquee matchup with Umaga with, whole Donald Trump versus Vince McMahon, the Battle of the Billionaires. But that's not the main event. That's just a marquee matchup. There's a reason why the main event is called the main event, because it's the last match, and the other matches are just marquee matches, okay? That doesn't make them a main event. Just putting that out there. Nonetheless, announcing and color commentary helped out this angle. Got the crowd hot. Scott Dawson performed poorly. Dash Wilder was very underwhelming. Well, I guess that's what happens when you put two guys you barely use in the ring with two top guys. Hey, I didn't mean for that, but there you go. Advanced the Kurt Angle-Stephanie feud, and we ended the multi-man match feud, and we just went ahead and started a bunch of one-on-one feuds that it seems like WWE's going with that. The way I'm going to handle feuds from now on is I'm going to start them when I feel WWE has started a feud. I'm going to turn people heel or face when I feel WWE has pulled the trigger, and if the next week WWE decides, oh, we're not doing this feud anymore, or if the next week that they're all like, oh, look at them, they're faces now, I might tease, I don't know, we'll get to the face and the heel. That thing's a little complicated, but for the feuds especially, it's start and go. It doesn't really matter as much. Roman Reigns and Lashley's feud started because of this. No worker improvements. As we jump into our opening match of the night, I believe this actually did way worse than it did last week. Probably because of who won. 52 D+ rating for our opening matchup of the night. Decent matchup. The Revival. Shah! I'm not lying. This wasn't a mess up. The Revival. Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder go over Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley in 11 minutes 14 seconds when Wilder, surprise, surprise, rolls Roman Reigns up for a flash pinfall after Roman was distracted by Bobby Lashley, bragging a little too much. 1, 2, 3, the Revival pick up the biggest win of their career. Roman Reigns head and shoulders above everybody else, as always. This was our storytelling match of the night, mostly because this was a storytelling matchup. If you remember last week, there was a lot of one-upmanship from both Roman Reigns and Bobby. They were working together just like they were this week, but there's still one-upmanship, especially from, when Bobby had to, tagged himself in to spear, I believe it was Scott Dawson, to pick up the victory last week. Roman does the same thing. He tags himself in, hits the Superman punch on Wilder, and he's setting up for the spear. Bobby goes to tag himself in, but Roman sees it coming and moves out of the way. Distracted by Bobby, of course. He's like, are you serious? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you got to be kidding me. This leads to Dash Wilder rolling Roman Reigns up. 1, 2, 3. Revival picks up, like I said, biggest victory of their career. Graves and Coachman, good chemistry. Bobby Lashley with an in-ring performance of a 53. Roman Reigns with a 65, best of the match. Dash Wilder with a 40, the worst of the match. And Scott Dawson with a 42. By the way, Roman Reigns was pissed about this. We're going to have to give him a huge-ass bonus to get him back on our good side. That's the one thing that always worries me. Like, right here, I could end this show and Roman Reigns would be like, I want to set up the rest of my contract now. And I don't know what I'm going to do if that ever happens with this series, because I don't know if there's a workaround that, but we'll have to conquer that if we ever get to it. 49 D+, good God. 49 D+, after the match is over, Roman is just kind of, sitting there in disbelief, like, did that really just happen? While Bobby Lashley just gets in the ring and mocks him and tells him, just let me handle things from now on. Lashley getting better at his gimmick, but it did lose heat for the feud between him and him and Roman. 51 D+ rating, as the Intercontinental Championship between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins is hyped once again. And Alexa Bliss is here tonight, and she'll be live, apparently. Like everybody else isn't. 53 C-, as the leaders of worlds grace our screens, and Matt Hardy is amused by, what was the words? He said, imitation is the finest form of flattery, or whatever like that. And he was amused by, the little skit that the B team cut last week. Then Bray Wyatt walks in. I really like how the scene kind of changes. Like, when Matt's there, it's all, happy and lights are bright and whatnot. And then as soon as Bray comes in, everything gets eerie, and he, it's a nice dynamic. I really like how they've captured that. Bray comes in. He pretty much just, cuts a generic Bray Wyatt promo. Nothing really special said from him, except the fact that we're here. And there we go. The Leaders of Worlds are in action next. Before their matchup, though, we have a commercial break in between. But before the matchup can take place, 55 C- as the B team is now on our screens. The Leaders of Worlds already in the ring. B team continue to mock and parody the Leaders of the Worlds, with Curtis Axel playing like he is Matt Hardy, Bo Dallas playing like he's Bray Wyatt. The only real funny thing out of this one, definitely not as funny as last week's, I feel, when Bo Dallas or Bo Wyatt or Bo Diet, I don't know, he does the whole "we're here," but he says, we're the B team, prepare to enter the beehive. I was just like, what? I got flashbacks to, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I think it was in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Could be wrong. It was early independent, so I honestly don't know. But there's a promo, you can look it up on YouTube too, between Paul London and Daniel Bryan, where Paul London is probably baked off his mind, and they're all talking about, bees and buzzing or something like that, and they go bzzz. That's what made me think. The second they said beehive, I got instant flashback to that Paul London Daniel Bryan promo. If you've never seen it, you gotta look it up. Funny stuff. Bryan can barely keep a straight face the entire promo. Bo Dallas getting better at his gimmick. No worker improvements. 43 solid D rating before the match begins. We get hype for the Extreme Rules Tag Team Championship matchup between the B team and the Leaders of Worlds. Hard to say that for some reason. Oh wait, it wasn't a tag team match. I don't know why I thought it was a tag team match. I didn't say it was. I don't think I did, but nonetheless, one-on-one action here. 47 solid D rating here as Matt Hardy takes on Curtis Axel. And an extremely short matchup. Curtis Axel defeats Matt Hardy in 1 minute 37 seconds with the surprise cradle. The match did not go on that long. Definitely didn't even pass a minute if you ask me. And it wasn't like a surprise cradle. Matt had Curtis Axel on the top of the rope looking to hit him with a superplex. I guess Matt slipped. Didn't look like Matt slipped. It just looked like Curtis Axel adjusted his weight midair. But that's what the commentator said. Matt slips. Axel falls on top of him. 1, 2, 3. Curtis Axel picks up a quick and surprising victory over one half of the tag team champions. Bray did some good work ringside. Bo was also ringside, but apparently didn't do good work. Matt Hardy with a 59 in ring performance. Curtis Axel with a 46. Lost heat for the feud as well. I don't think I pressed the button. Yeah, no. There we go. Afterwards, we jump to a 52 D+ rating as we get a little bit of a stare down between DOW, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, and the B team, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, before Matt says, wait, and he goes, that shock victory was wonderful, and they give him the whole standing ovation and whatnot. B team's kind of weirded out. They leave and celebrate, but there you have it. Apparently, it was wonderful. It was interesting watching Bray and Bo. They're brothers. We already know that, but to me at least, you can see that they're really just staring at each other the entire time. I don't think I see Bray Wyatt look over at Curtis Axel. I don't think I see Bo Dallas look over at Matt Hardy. Every time the B team and the DOW are with each other, it's always Bo Dallas and Bray kind of staring at each other. Like when Bray was doing the whole clapping, he was looking at Bo the entire time. Especially Bray. I'm not really paying much attention to Bo, but in this angle you can tell because Bray was facing us, so I could see where he was staring. And it's just interesting. I never really thought about this because I've got brothers myself, but I wonder what it's like to, have to act, for instance, like Bray Wyatt would. Some crazy standing ovation, clapping around, turning around, being kind of a fool in front of your brother. And same thing goes for Bo Dallas. He's acting like a fool. I'm sure they can, they're cool with it. It's what they're doing right now. It's just kind of interesting to me that they kind of got something going on where they're both fools. What is going on with IRS's children, man? No worker improvements. 33 E+ rating here as we get the recap of Bayley and Sasha Banks' breakup from last week. We then jump to a 55 C- as we see Kurt Angle and Sasha Banks having a talk. We can't hear what they're saying, but they're talking. 41 solid D, as look who's here, guys. I was just talking about Akam and Razar. The authors of pain have been gone all this time. Where have they been? Because, you know, Sanity finally debuted, and I was also the person like, where's Sanity? And here they are. The AOP are back, and they're walking around backstage. They push over one of the backstage guys, which pisses off Titus O'Neil, and he confronts them by saying, you know, the backstage guys work really hard, and, you know, they deal with already enough with, you know, having to deal with you guys or something. I don't know which one. Either Akam or Razar respond by saying, yeah, we'll take it under advisement before walking away, because the AOP is in action next. Before we can get into that matchup, 56 C- rating here, as Bayley, she's talking backstage to Alicia Fox, who apparently is back, even though she's totally not back, and now I'm going to have to fix that and make it so that she's back. But yeah, she's like still injured in my game for like 20 days, but apparently, according to WWE, she is back. And even though we don't have injuries in this game, I took them all off. Certain superstars were injured beforehand. Perfect example being Dean Ambrose, so I do have to wait for them to, you know, be uninjured for them to come back. Nonetheless, Alicia Fox and Bayley are talking backstage before Kurt Angle approaches them. He wants to talk to Bayley. Bayley's like, sure. And she goes ahead. You know, Alicia walks away. Kurt lets her know that he wants to talk about Sasha Banks. Bayley doesn't want to talk about Sasha Banks. But Kurt puts over the fact that, look, you two got to get along tonight because you've got a 6-woman tag team match with Ember Moon taking on the Riott Squad. And it was kind of weird because he's like, don't you care about the women's revolution or something like that? And to me, I'm like, well, yeah, why wouldn't she care about the women's revolution? But what the hell does that have to do with her friendship with Sasha Banks? Like, because she doesn't want to be friends with Sasha Banks, she doesn't care about the women's revolution? That just seems stupid to me. Bayley is, you know, she's also kind of hinting at a heel turn. I have no idea where they're going with Sasha Banks and Bayley now. Both are teasing heel turns. Both are, you know, angry and fed up with each other. This feud just needs to start already and end quickly because, my God, they've dragged this out since Elimination Chamber? Yeah. Good Lord. No worker improvements. What do we got next here? Oh, the match. 27 solid E rating here, as we got jobbers Rich and Rex Gibson. Even though I messed up. That's what I'm trying to say. Messed up their names. This is supposed to be Rex. That's supposed to be Rich, but it didn't tell me that until after the match started, and I didn't care enough to change it. If you guys are curious, Rex is played by Angel from California. I'm sure you guys all know who Angel is if you've ever played, you know, TEW. He's got like a gay gimmick or something like that. Rich is played by Matt Barella. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That is the Gibson brothers, in case you guys want to hire them, or at least who I hired for the Gibson brothers. And an abysmal matchup. The AOP Authors of Pain go over Rich Gibson and Rex Gibson in 2 minutes, 8 seconds when Razor defeats Rex Gibson by pinfall. Rex apparently was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. Come on, Rex. We already know about Coach and Graves. Cooled the crowd. Rex with an in-ring performance of a 12. That's Rex, remember. Oh, excuse me, no, this is Rex. That's right, because of the name. So Rex had an in-ring performance of a 12. Rich with a 22. Razor with a 33, and Akam 1 point better with the best of the match, 34. Rex Gibson is improving in technical and performance as well. We then go to a 45 solid D rating here, as the Authors of Pain continue their beatdown on both the Gibson brothers until Titus Worldwide make the save. By the way, there's a feud going on between them. I don't know if I brought that up, but it seems like there's a feud going on between the AOP and Titus Worldwide. 67 C+ rating here, as... Oh, okay, I was like, what's going on? Kurt Angle and Constable Baron Corbin are, you know, they're talking about the show, I guess, or whatever. This leads to Finn Balor coming in, who is kind of frustrated because he really wanted that shot against Brock Lesnar. Corbin pokes fun at him, saying, "Why? So you can come up short again, just like you did last week?" And Finn Balor asked him if he got that vest from TGI Fridays or something like that. Very stupid line. Braun Strowman walks in. Strowman talks about how he's felt bad, after all the things he's done to Kevin Owens. He just, and Kevin Owens still wanted to be his friend. So tonight he feels like teaming with Kevin Owens. Angle's like, well, who the hell am I going to find to fight you? And then Braun sees Finn. He sees Baron Corbin standing there, and he goes, how about these two? And there you go. We got a little bit of a strange bedfellows match, a kind of a rematch from last week, except we're trading partners, because this time it's going to be Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens taking on Baron Corbin and Finn Balor in our main event. Storyline between Kurt Angle and Stephanie advanced. The Braun Strowman Kevin Owens storyline started here, even though it probably should have been started a long time ago. And Corbin and Finn start here as well. Which this one's kind of accurate, because last week I wouldn't say Corbin and Finn started a feud, where this week it stems off of what happened last week, but tonight's when the feud really starts, so that's pretty accurate. Strowman and Owens, they've been feuding since like before Money in the Bank, though. 35 E+ rating as Alexa Bliss is next. We then go to a 53 C- rating here as Alexa Bliss, the new women's champion, alongside her best friend, Mickie James, make their way down to the ring. Bliss and James proceed to brag a bit. The crowd really is just egging on them here tonight. Bliss puts over, how, Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey as bullies and whatnot. This eventually leads to Natalya coming out. Natty, says, what was it? 24 days or something like that. I don't remember the exact amount of days. She pretty much is counting down until Ronda Rousey comes back and gets her hands on Alexa Bliss. Bliss is like, whatever, you're excused, Natty. No one needs you here. And then Natty's like, no, I'm not excused because I just got done talking to Kurt Angle and I've got a match against you coming up. And she goes, and I also didn't come alone. And that's when Nia Jax's music hits and the former women's champion returns from her, I guess, injury or whatever the hell it was she was dealing with, to accompany Natalya to the ring. Nia Jax performed poorly, but it advanced the storyline between Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax, and Alexa Bliss. Mickie James has made the best of her appearance here tonight as she's learning to show more charisma and performance. Good on her. So we jump into said matchup between Alexa Bliss and Natalya. 45, solid D rating here. Poor match. Natalya. God, they hate Alexa Bliss for... I'm telling you, Alexa Bliss loses all the time now. Natalya goes over Alexa Bliss in 6 minutes, 5 seconds with the sharpshooter after distraction from Nia Jax. Mickie James also distracted Natalya, but it didn't help. And that's kind of what happened towards the end, to be honest. So, it's alright matchup. Nothing too special here between the two. Bliss has always been a better talker than a fighter, so that's not, that's to be expected. Not saying she's bad, just saying she's a better talker. Nonetheless, though, match pretty much ends. Mickie James tries to grab Natalya's leg, but the referee catches it, so he's distracted by Mickie James on the outside alongside Natalya, which leads to Alexa Bliss bouncing off the ropes. But Nia Jax gets full, she grabs the leg fully. I don't know what the word I'm looking for here. I hate when you're trying to think of a word off the top of your head. I'm so bad at that. Nonetheless, she gets a full grab pretty much. Doesn't miss, kind of like Mickie James did. Grabs Alexa Bliss's leg, trips her up. Alexa's caught off guard, which allows Natalya to lock in the sharpshooter while she's down, making the women's champion tap out and getting an impressive victory. Natty's getting a little bit of a push here on Raw. Not only is she like Ronda Rousey's best friend and sparring partner, but she's getting a lot of victories too. Like she got that victory in that fatal four-way between all four of the women from Monday Night Raw and the Money in the Bank. She just beat Alexa Bliss. She's looking good. Natalya's getting better at her gimmick as well. Alexa Bliss with an in-ring performance of a 40. Natalya 4 points better with a 44. Come on. You pressed it. There we go. 53 C- as we get a recap of the Intercontinental Championship match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins last week. Of course, featuring Drew McIntyre this time, rated on overness. 56 C- as we go backstage to Charlie Caruso, who is interviewing Seth Rollins about the upcoming match against Dolph Ziggler. He pretty much just cuts the same promo as he did last week. Nothing special here, very generic. Rollins puts over that he can't make any excuses about his loss last week, but tonight he's pretty much going to go in there and burn it down or whatever. Generic promo. Lost heat, too. Thanks a lot, Seth. 100 A-star rating here as we get the pointless, long commercial break from Big Break John. I had to fill 30 minutes time, which is the max you can make an angle, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. 30 minutes of John Cena out here talking, pretty much. Thank you, John. Thank you. Still managed to get a 100 A-star. I don't know how. 43 solid D rating as Jinder Mahal and Sunil Singh are backstage, and they're getting their photos taken before the Riott squad. Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan all approach them. They start taking the pictures before smashing the camera and walking away. Or before they walk away, Jinder starts preaching peace, and that's what leads them to walking away. So I made this deal last week saying that if they continue to tease Jinder Mahal's peace thing, that we would go ahead and change the gimmick. We are going to change the gimmick. Jinder Mahal is now a hippie. Holy hell in a handbasket. What was his last one? He got an above average on his foreigner gimmick, but his hippie gimmick, great. They love peaceful Jinder Mahal. That's what's up. 35 E+ rating as we get hyped for the 6-woman tag team match that'll be taking place next between Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, and Bayley, taking on the Riott squad, all 3 members. And then we jump into the 6-woman tag team matchup here. The Riott squad, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan go over Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Ember Moon in a poor matchup here. After 6 minutes, 22 seconds, when Ruby Riott defeats Sasha Banks after distraction from Liv Morgan. I was confused for a second. Pretty much back and forth matchup here. They did some pretty crazy things, I won't lie. Ember Moon, definitely the daredevil here. That's what she's kind of like living up to right now, is that she's a daredevil. But the match itself, like I said, it was alright. A lot of crazy things going on, nothing too special. Match ends with Sasha Banks, like it says right there. She's slightly distracted by Liv Morgan on the outside of the ring. She turns around, gets rolled up by Ruby Riott. 1, 2, 3, Riott squad wins. Bayley hinting at that heel turn. She's not getting a strong reaction, though, because their fans realize it's not her strong suit. And I'd like to imagine this is just the fans, chanting like they were on Monday Night Raw for Bayley, because she's finally, not taking shit anymore. Nonetheless, Liv Morgan with a 35 in-ring performance, the weakest of everybody. Sarah Logan with a 38, Ruby Riott with a 41, Ember Moon with a 40, Bayley with a 46, Sasha Banks with a 49, best of the match. Lost heat for the Bayley-Sasha feud, though. So we jump into our next segment here. 49 D+ rating here, as immediately after the match, Bayley doesn't give Sasha Banks any time to think. Sasha is just sitting there beating herself up pretty much for losing. Bayley rushes in and attacks Sasha from behind and just starts beating the living hell out of her. Tossing her outside, tossing her into the barricade, tossing her into the steel steps. Bayley is taking out all her pent-up aggression on Sasha Banks right now. And again, I argue that this isn't a heel turn. Some people might, I've been seeing people, about time they turn Bayley heel. That's what they said about Sasha last week. About time they turned Sasha heel. I don't think these are heel turns as of right now. I think they're teasing that one of these 2 women are gonna turn heel. But in my opinion, these are just 2, former best friends, frustrated, angry with each other, and they just want to beat the living hell out of each other. That doesn't mean Bayley wants to go body slam Nia Jax. That doesn't mean Sasha Banks wants to take out Ember Moon. No, it just means that they're fed up with each other, and we'll most likely see one turn heel, but right now it's just these 2 don't like each other, and they just want to beat the living hell out of each other. Kind of like Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley right now. I mean, none of them are heels. They're very competitive superstars who want to prove that they're better than each other, pretty much. That's not where this is going. This is pent-up frustration over the things that have been happening. But still, I don't think it's a heel turn. I'm not turning Bayley. I'm not turning Sasha until I, for one, think it's a heel turn. So there you have that. Nothing special here. No heat gain, no anything. 61 solid C as we get hyped for our tag team matchup between Strowman and Owens and Corbin and Balor, taking place later on tonight. We then go to a 65 solid C rating here as Kurt Angle is talking to referee John Cone and tells him that he needs to go find Bayley because he needs to talk to him. Kevin Owens comes in and starts pleading with Kurt Angle, saying that he doesn't, you've seen what Braun's done to me in the past. I don't want to do this. Kurt says that Braun looked pretty serious about it, like he was very sincere about, you know, wanting to make things right pretty much with Kevin Owens, and that's that. Oh yeah, he tells Owens that this could be the start of a beautiful friendship between him and Braun too. Handle changes though. What for who? Oh, for Bayley, because she was kind of featured in this. That's right. Okay, we didn't press the button. I love this button. I love how it's so hard to press, apparently. 37 D- rating here as we get a recap of the beatdown from Bayley we just saw on Sasha Banks. We then go to a 42 solid D rating here as No Way Jose is in the ring and he's ready to compete. We're going to get a rematch from last week's match between Mojo and No Way Jose. Mojo comes down to the ring and he asks No Way Jose, what's the conga line doing here? Because they haven't earned their way to walk down a WWE ramp or enter a WWE ring. And neither has No Way Jose in his opinion. He gets into the cheeseburger space, starts belittling him and says, this is what you want to do. This is how you plan on becoming a professional wrestler. Do you think your parents are proud of you dancing around like a cheeseburger on TV? And then he looks at No Way Jose and he says, this match ain't happening until you prove yourself to me, pretty much. And No Way Jose gets out of the ring to confront Mojo, but he gets socked right in the jaw for it as Mojo Rawley walks away from it. So again, kind of similar to Corbin and Balor. Even though these two did face last week, I don't believe the feud started last week. It started tonight. It kind of stems from last week's match between Mojo and No Way Jose, but now Mojo's down here, and I think the feud officially started, especially with him, you know, telling No Way Jose, you don't belong here, pretty much. 42 solid D for that. As we jump into a 65 solid C, backstage, Bayley is frustrated. She's telling, you know, Kurt that, look, I know what what happened out there and all that, and Kurt's just not listening to any of it. He tells her that, you know, next week you're going to mandatory counseling. Bayley's like, what do you mean I'm going to mandatory counseling? What about Sasha? And then Kurt just pretty much tells her it's not up for debate. You're going to counseling next week. A little bit of a Team Hell No vibe here I'm getting. I'm not going to lie. Counseling. That should be interesting. Are we going to see Dr. Shelby again? Oh my god, I just thought about that. What if they got Dr. Shelby again? That would be good. WWE, if you watch my videos, because sometimes I feel like there's somebody there watching my videos. I mean, AOP just shows up out of nowhere when I just bring it up last week. But if you watch the videos, WWE, bring back Dr. Shelby. I highly doubt it, but anyway, 69 C+ rating as we get a recap of all the beatdowns Kevin Owens has received from Braun Strowman over the past couple of weeks. There's a lot of them, too. Kevin Owens has been taking a lot of the beatings from Braun Strowman. You don't realize how often it happens until you see this video. Gained heat for the feud as well. 66 C+ rating here as the Strange Bedfellows tag team match is taking place. And a good matchup. Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens go over Finn Balor and Constable Baron Corbin in 10 minutes 51 seconds when both Constable Baron Corbin and Finn Balor were counted out during the matchup here. So Balor and Corbin are definitely at each other's, you know, get on each other's nerves. And at one point, I don't exactly remember what triggered it, but the two turn on each other. They start brawling instead of brawling with Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens, which leads to them getting their, you know, count out victory over the two, because Balor and Corbin can't stop beating each other up. There were some cool parts of this matchup as well. Not too bad of a match. The one major highlight to me is, you guys know how Braun Strowman does that run around the ring and just takes everybody out with shoulder tackles. Well, he had Kevin Owens do that, and Kevin Owens takes out Finn Balor, but right when he gets to Corbin, he just gets taken down. So it was an interesting matchup here, seeing, you know, Owens and Strowman and Balor and Corbin were working together, but also only really fighting certain people. I don't think Finn Balor fought Braun Strowman too often. Like, they fought each other, but it wasn't too often. We saw Corbin and Owens fight each other more. This match got the crowd hotter. Kevin Owens with an in-ring performance of a 67. Braun Strowman with the best of a 75. Baron Corbin with a 51, the worst of everybody. Finn Balor tied with Kevin Owens with a 67. Gained heat for the Balor-Corbin feud. Advanced to Strowman-Owens feud. No worker improvements. 72 B- as Kevin Owens is pretty much trying to amend ties here with Braun Strowman. He's all happy about their victory. He goes to shake hands with Braun, but Braun just kind of gives him a stare, which eventually leads to Kevin Owens getting the hell out of the ring and running from there. 72 B- as it gained heat for the feud. And then directly afterwards, because there's a commercial break in between these, 63 solid C rating here. As was there a commercial break? Maybe there wasn't. There's a couple segments between these two. Either way, the Intercontinental Championship matchup is hyped between Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. This is what happened. But while they're hyping it up, they're interrupted as Braun Strowman is still chasing after Kevin Owens in the back. Owens goes into, I believe it was the coach's office or whatever, to avoid Braun Strowman or escape him. Braun starts pestering one of the catering guys. The catering guy has no idea where Kevin Owens is. Braun even goes, "You haven't seen a guy that looks like he's got a bowling ball under his shirt?" And, yeah, Braun didn't... the guy didn't see it pretty much, and there you have it. So Kevin Owens escaped, or managed to escape Braun for the time being. Then we jump into a 74 B-. Again, back to back to back. This is the one that was at the commercial break. Owens gets out of the locker room and starts to pretty much abandon ship. He's rushing to the parking lot. He asks for his keys, but the guy with the keys, or the valet, that's what they call him. The valet's like, I don't have your keys. And Owens is like, what the hell? What do you mean you don't have my keys? And that's because Braun Strowman has his keys. And Braun's sitting there, and he tosses the keys over to Owens, and he goes, "You might want a new car, though, or something." And that's because the car has been flipped over by Braun Strowman, who is just laughing at Kevin Owens right now. 74 B-, gaining heat to the feud. And I don't know how Kevin Owens is getting home. 54 C- as we get yet another recap of the Intercontinental Championship matchup from last week, of course featuring Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre not rated again. 31 E+ as we get hyped for our 205 live main event. So it seems like this is becoming a thing WWE is going to start doing more often, as they hype up the 6-man elimination tag team match we'll see take place, well, I guess tonight, because I am recording this on a Tuesday. Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik of the Lucha House Party will take on Jack Gallagher, the Brian Kendrick, and Drew Gulak. 49 D+ as we get our championship introductions, courtesy of JoJo, Seth Rollins, and Dolph Ziggler. And then the main event of the night, 70 C+ rating here. Decent matchup. Seth Rollins goes over Dolph Ziggler in 25 minutes, 27 seconds. After Dolph Ziggler was disqualified when Drew McIntyre ran in and attacked Rollins. McIntyre also distracted Rollins. Early on in the match, McIntyre got involved. He was distracting Rollins, interfering until the referee kicked him out. Then we just have a back-and-forth matchup between Ziggler and Rollins. Again, it was all right. I feel like Ziggler, me personally, I feel like Ziggler relies a lot on his rest holds and all that. Because that's just 2 weeks in a row, and I've noticed that about Ziggler. He's just really a rest-holdy kind of guy. Maybe it's because he's a heel, because I know we've seen him do more, but that's just what I was noticing. Match ends when Rollins comes out of nowhere. It was a great match, by the way, back and forth between the two. Maybe great's not the right word, but decent. There you go. Decent matchup, like the game put. It was a good, decent match, back and forth. A lot of high-hitting action going on here. Rollins being a daredevil, super kicks, curb stomps. Definitely some stiff action going on here. Like I said, match ended when Rollins hits the suplex into the Falcon Arrow combination. Looks like he's about to win the Intercontinental Championship, but Drew McIntyre pulls the referee out just in time at 2, and then gets into the ring and starts beating down on Seth Rollins, causing the match to end in a disqualification. Got the crowd hot. Seth Rollins with an in-ring performance of a 68. Dolph Ziggler with a 55. Gained heat for the feud. Ziggler's improving in performance. And then we end off the night with a 71 B- rating here, as Drew McIntyre continues to beat down on Seth Rollins, really, while Dolph Ziggler just kind of watches on. That's when the big dog's music hits. Roman Reigns comes down. He's not taking it. He's not going to let his brother-in-arms, Seth Rollins, get beat down any further, as the former Shield brothers, or excuse me, Shield brother, because Rollins is the one getting beat down. Roman Reigns makes his way down to the ring to save Rollins from McIntyre and Ziggler. I think we got a little bit of a scuffle between Roman and Drew, which ended up with Roman winning, of course, and Drew and Ziggler just kind of back off while the Shield just stands in the ring. Roman Reigns looked dreadful in this segment. What? Why? Why did Roman Reigns look so bad? Roman Reigns, bonus for good momentum, but Poor gimmick and motivation. I wonder if that's what it was. He looked dreadful. Oh, God. Is he going to quit? That scares me. Wow. Roman Reigns looked dreadful. It's probably the best way he looked in the entire night. It's the only way he gets cheered. 80 solid B rating for the show, increasing our popularity in 27 regions. But what did it cost us? Oh, Roman Reigns, please don't quit. Please don't quit, Roman, because I don't know how I'm going to work around that. Oh, boy. All right, let's start doing the outro while we wait for this. My name's been OMGWTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you have not already. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your friends, your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Instagrams. I don't give a dams. Any social media account out there you feel would help the channel grow, give it a share and help your boy out. In fact, if you got some buddies out there you feel would enjoy my content, give them a share as well, and maybe help your boy get some new subscribers up in this bitch. As always, I've got my friends you can check out down below in the description. I highly recommend checking out ZachManziNVO, very active on Twitch, streams about maybe 2 hours every day. My buddy Raging Yoshi, very active on YouTube, uploads about every day. Currently, I believe he's doing Final Fantasy X. He's working on some more stuff. Give them all a check out. And that's about it for the outro. So now we're just going to sit here and wait because I do not want to end this video until I can make sure that Roman Reigns is not pissed. Because, good God Almighty, after he looked dreadful in that segment, I've just got the feeling that now he's going to be like, yeah, I'm done. You made me lose Dash Wilder of the Revival. Dash Wilder, not even the popular one. Like, everyone likes Scott Dawson more than they like Dash Wilder. And you make me lose to him? I'm out of here, dog. The big dog is out. Alright. No decision, so I think we're good. Oh no, Ric Flair retired. Speaking of retirements, Jim Ross retired. Also, I have these up here as well because I've got to remember to do the NXT UK brand whenever that happens. And then SmackDown is going to Fox, I believe, in 2019 or 2020, one of the two. So, yeah. But Ric Flair's retired now, too. Alright, cool. Woo, buddy. Roman Reigns is sticking around. And, yeah. Thank God. Hold on, guys. So what do we got here? We got Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae's contracts ending. I'll fix those off screen. Bobby Lashley says Akam can't sell anything or worth a damn, in my opinion. The kid needs to learn how to work. And Kevin Owens says Mojo Rawley is charismatic. I can see him doing well in the future. So Bobby Lashley don't think Akam's going to do well, but Kevin Owens thinks Mojo Rawley will do well. We'll go ahead and delete these two because I think it'll show us here. If not, I can remember. It's not like Johnny Gargano in them. Yeah. So let's go ahead and let's give Roman Reigns a big bonus. And when I say a big bonus, I mean $100,000. And that made him normal? What? I thought that would make him ecstatic. Like, he would be so happy. Like, oh, thanks, boss, for the $100,000. Nope, he's normal. Alright. I'm happy. I don't mind losing to Dash Wilder. Alright, whatever. Cool. I'll take it. We made a profit, too. Because, oh, no, we haven't yet. I thought that was the final week, but no, we are in week 4 now. That cracks me up. Alright, guys. I'll see you guys later. Have a good